Good morning, and thank you for joining us for our webinar today. My name is Brad Vorbeck. I work in marketing here at Turnkey Technologies, and I also have my colleague Jessica Myers with me today, who is one of our Dynamics functional consultants. And today we're going to be looking at what we consider some of the top finance and accounting features in Dynamics 365 for finance and operations. So we're not going to be taking a deep dive into all the finance and accounting functionality that's available within the module. That would take a little bit too long for this webinar duration today, but we're going to be showcasing some of the features that we think make Dynamics 365 different from other ERP solutions for accountants and finance departments in terms of flexibility and overall user interface and the user experience. So please feel free to ask questions during the webinar today. We'll get those answered at the end in a Q&A session. And also the webinar is going to be recorded, so we will send that out to you tomorrow in a follow-up email. So go ahead and please keep an eye out for that as well. And also we've got a special offer for anybody who's interested. It's a no obligation and no charge consultation, and it's a fit gap assessment, essentially giving you high-level look at whether or not Microsoft Dynamics 365 meets your short-term and long-term goals, if that's something your organization is looking at right now. So just a little bit about Turnkey Technologies before I hand it off to Jessica here. We are a Gold Microsoft partner that was founded in 1994 in St. Louis, Missouri. Since our founding, we've been focused exclusively on helping businesses implement and maximize the results of their Microsoft solutions. So that started off as Great Plains back in the 90s before it was acquired by Microsoft and became Dynamics GP. And since then, we've fully evolved into the Microsoft Dynamics 365 stack, including CRM, Finance and Operations, Business Central, and Power BI as well. So our primary focus is in helping businesses adopt and make full use of their Microsoft solutions. And so we offer webinars like this one today, as well as user group meetings and other opportunities to educate the Dynamics community and show users what's possible, or maybe open some new doors to solving their current challenges. So we're excited to present this webinar for you today and hope you get some real value out of today's presentation. And with that said, I will go ahead and hand it off to Jessica.
Thank you, Brad. So for today our agenda is going to talk about the ease of navigation within the software for financial operations by using role-based workspaces. We're going to then discuss and talk a little bit about the analytics using Power BI and how it's integrated and how you can attach that to your role-based workspaces. We also will then discuss briefly a little bit about dimensions for financial reporting and how you can use the different dimension spaces to build your financial reports. And then finally, we're going to talk about our accounting processes, making them easier using financial and operations. All the little, not all of them, but some short little tips and tricks on how financial and operations are going to help your accounting processes be easier than using QuickBooks or GP or another software. So to kick it off, we're going to talk about the ease of navigation within financial and operations. Like most or a lot of web-based solutions, you're used to having shortcuts essentially to get to your spaces. And what financial and operations does is they have, as you see the little highlighted icon up here, you can click on that and then click on a workspace and star it. And that workspace can be where you go and has all of your summary reports, snapshots, anything that you could possibly need to perform your job duties at that time. It allows you to perform like tasks, not all your tasks, but basically every task that you do on a daily basis. It helps to give you, like I said before, as we go into the Power BI, which is in this next slide, it helps you to pin tiles to of analytics to your dashboards. So for example, you want to see sales, a sales snapshot, you can create your sales dashboards, you can create revenue and expense comparisons. You could do statistical account analysis where you have a comparison of your revenue to product that you've produced. And you can attach that, as you see here, as a little Power BI dashboard. So on your workspace, you can attach those dashboards to that. The next item we're going to talk about are the dimensions for financial reporting. So for financial reporting, you have the ability to create custom dimensions where they're shared across the various legal entities that you may have, or you can create entity-backed dimensions, which are more defined and more in line with a specific fixed account type analysis. They help to streamline your chart of accounts so that you could have your GL accounts with your regular GL account numbers, but then you could also add additional dimensions, such as if we look at this, the next slide where it talks about consolidation reporting, where we're trying to pull our outstanding encumbrances by a specific financial dimension. So for example, we want to look at all the departmental financial dimensions. Well, we could create a financial dimension that has our specific department that we're looking at, or it has several departments that we're looking at. Or we could create it where, if you look at the one below it, department plus a specific currency. So we could create different financial dimensions to help us analyze and determine our information in quite a few different capacities. Straight standard chart of accounts where you have your first segment and second segment, or however many segments you have, or you could have a first segment with a unit account type of situation. So you could really allow yourself to not be held in the constrictions of just having a standard GL account structure. You can build your reports based on different financial dimensions. The next slide talks about how you can, what a custom dimension means, and how you could use different characters or number formats to build those custom dimensions. The next one talks about entity-backed dimensions. So these are kind of standard dimensions where they're based on another item, such as your stores. You use your values completely from your stores, whereas a custom one is based on a range of information. For more information, we'd like to talk to you about your chart of accounts and how your business process actually would build those financial dimensions. The next item we're going to talk about are accounting processes, how we make your accounting processes easier in financial and operations. As most accountants, you build your manuals. You usually have manuals of your accounting processes. Nice thing about financial and operations is that if you use Chrome, you can use a task recorder and capture the screenshots. The standard Microsoft Edge, you can still record your tasks. It just won't provide you a Word document with screenshots. But it is a nice way to build your manual. So for example, you have accounting processes of how you create your journal entries. And what this does, it allows you to open the task recorder, create a recording, so you have a video you could also reference. But then capturing those screenshots, it builds a Word document with all the links of how you get to where you go and what the screenshot is. So it's very cumbersome for many accountants to build those because you have to stop and take the screenshot. But using the task recorder allows you to easily create your Word documents for you. The next area is talking about the Office integration. So it's wonderful to be able to use all the Microsoft products. It's very easy to build Word and Excel templates and have it available for you. And this is where you would find how you can build your templates or review your templates. It's under this, it's called a module, the common module. And it's right there where it says Office integration. From there, you can use the designer, the Excel workbook designer, to help you build a template for yourself. Or you can take, if you already have one, you go to where it says document templates and review the templates that are listed and available for you at that time. So using the templates, you can easily open it up. So you take what you do with it is you go to, for example, the customer. And if we had a customer template, we would take that template and build our invoice or build our specific document that we are trying to accomplish. You There's navigation where it takes you directly to where it says export to Word, export to Excel, open Excel, that kind of situation, where it will then generate the information such as how much the customer balance is, how much the invoices that you need to send to the vendor with the purchase order information. There is, in addition to that, you have the Excel connector add-in where it helps you to quickly analyze information. It is something that someone would have to install for yourself, but it is available for the web application to allow you to connect that information and show you what this information means. So for example, the data connectors, you can see on that first column, column A, it's talking about where the source is coming from. It's coming from our dummy organization, fleet management, with the fleet management customers. A great situation for people who are entering invoices, so vendor invoices, customer invoices, or journal entries. It's wonderful where you can click on a module and, for example, a journal entry, and click where it says open lines in Excel, and you can open it from a template or it will just automatically open in Excel. And what happens is on the next screen here, you see where it opens the data in Excel. And here you can enter the information. So you enter the date, or you could copy paste from another Excel. And you enter the date, the company, what it's related to, all the relevant information. And then what happens is then you publish it back into F&O, Financial and Operations, where it will then fill out that information for you. The next screen shows you what a vendor invoice entry looks like. So again, you can fill out all the relevant information and then publish it back, and it'll create your vendor invoice, and then from there you can then publish or submit for processing. So submit to the transaction to be posted to the general ledger or the subledger in that regard. Some other awesome features that Financial and Operations offers is expense management. So a lot of people have employees who need to submit expense reports, and there's something called Expense Management Mobile Workspace. So you could take a photo of your receipt and then upload it automatically to Financial and Operations. From there, you can attach it to your expense report. So it really helps to be a very point-in-time situation, right, where you can take a screenshot at the time that you had your dinner or your toll or whatever the expense is, and then capture it for yourself and put it into the Financial and Operations so that you can easily create your expense report. You can also import and maintain credit card transactions. So again, kind of related to expense reports, but also related to other areas where people use credit cards. They use it for all various situations. You can easily import data into the system. So using API, using all JSON files, using Excel, using any type of situation, we can easily build imports into Financial and Operations with your data. Other areas where I find very helpful for Financial and Operations is the ability to take, so for example, you have an audit checklist or you have someone who's investigating information and they have it in Excel. So what you can do is you can take your data that you see where I have over there in column A, and you can copy that data as a filter. And if we go to the next slide here, this talks about this. Then you take that data in column A and paste it into your filter, and then once you click apply, it's going to filter all those vouchers or information that you're trying to filter down based on that filter that you just pasted in there. So it helps to eliminate the keystrokes and everything in that regard because you already have your information in Excel to begin with. You can also send mails using your local Outlook, or you can use the Office 365 Outlook. It just needs some configuration, so most of this needs a little bit of configuration, but you can, for example, as you see on the screen, where you can navigate to, for example, you want to send your customer statements. Well, you just go to the customer's statement area where you go to find your customer, you click collect, and then you go to a communicate. You click on the communicate button, and from there you click on email, and what it does then says, okay, who's your contact that you want to do, and then it will attach that and send it for you. The next area I want to talk about is using templates to create records. So in a lot of situations, people need templates. They enter a utility invoice every month. They enter new laptops, computers, all sorts of situations where you could use a template to auto-populate data that is standard information that will show up every month. And what happens is that you basically create the first record and then click record the information. From there, you would then create a user template, or if this was a company-wide setting that you wanted to have be company-wide, you could click company accounts templates. And then from there, when someone was going to create a new document, they would click on new, and then they would choose a template. Or they would just hand key the information. But it helps to decrease error, human error, and increase the efficiency in your organization. The final point I want to talk about are the audit policies. So as most people have audits with organizations or reviews or even tax audits, right? So this helps, you can set up audit policies in this software to help identify where expense reports, purchase orders, vendor invoices don't comply with specific business rules that you put into place. It helps you to evaluate the documents and make sure that everyone is complying with what you're supposed to be complying with. I know this was kind of a quick overview, but we would love to have a further discussion if anyone has any additional questions or want to see additional steps in configuration, and we will be happy to go over those with you and schedule a follow-up call. At this point, we'll have questions and answers if anyone has any.
Great, thanks Jessica. Yeah, we'll go ahead and open up the floor for the Q&A. I want to see if anybody here has any questions specifically about features or functionality you may be looking for in your organization or anything else regarding your requirements for Dynamics 365. One thing I wanted to touch on that we didn't really cover so far was the pricing of Dynamics 365 for finance and operations. So the user pricing for Unified Operations Plan is $190 per user per month, and it is a 20 user minimum for finance and operations. So this solution is designed for mid-sized to larger enterprises versus the Business Central solution, which is an ERP designed more for your small and mid-sized businesses that are outgrowing accounting software or maybe need an ERP solution that's not quite as robust as finance and operations is. So it's $190 per user per month for Unified Operations. That is just the ERP side of things. It includes the finance and accounting as well as manufacturing and all that, and distribution, project management, project service. And then the Dynamics 365 plan actually incorporates all of CRM as well. So it's a fully integrated ERP CRM solution with full sales, customer service, field service, project service automation modules for just an additional $20 per month. So on its own, I believe, I can't remember what exactly the user pricing is for Dynamics 365 for sales by itself. But essentially here you get it for just $20 per user per month more than the ERP solution alone. And then for Business Central too, if anybody's not looking for something quite as large as finance and operations, the pricing there is a little bit more user-friendly. It's $70 per user per month for Business Central Essentials, and it goes up to $100 per user per month for Premium. And the difference there is this includes your standard finance, accounting, and supply chain and reporting modules, And then here you get additional enhanced functionality for manufacturing and service management as well. So that's kind of how those two solutions break down in terms of their audience and what is ideal for which size business. And again, there's a 20 user minimum for finance and operations, so that is typically a starting point in the discussion. So again, we welcome any questions that anybody has. And we've got a special offer available right now. It is the free Fit Gap assessment. This is a 1-hour consultation with one of our Dynamics experts, and we can quickly validate whether Microsoft Dynamics 365 is going to meet your long-term or short-term goals at a high level, or if you want to take it to a deeper level, we can extend that assessment as long as you need us to, and we can actually customize that around your goals to have a much deeper conversation about your requirements. So with that said, I remind everybody that we have recorded this webinar. We're going to go ahead and send it out tomorrow in a follow-up email, and keep an eye out for that follow-up email. And if anybody has any questions, let us know.